All right, hello. Welcome to the Thursday London Open session Silver Bullet. Here we are going to be dealing with the ANQ that had a lot of whipsaw yesterday, up and down, seeking buy side and sell side, eventually ending around middle of the range. And yeah, today is a new day. Key dealing range that we are inside of right now is definitely this high and this low. It's the most obvious standing out dealing range on the chart. And we are we are roughly in the upper half of it currently. So in regards to the dealing range, we are in premium. Okay. This is a small but important new day opening up for today. This relatively cool high is partial liquidity. That's also important. And we are just poking, or it's just poking its head above that buy side. All right. This is NQ in regards to the weekly suspension block. Poking its head into the highest octane. There is also a daily bearish suspension block here, and that's what I'm gonna annotate here, I suppose. I have a lot of lines. Let's leave this. Okay. Okay, that's the premium array that we are trading into. And that's a discount array. It's refined this busy on the 4-hour. Have these lines, what are they? Okay, I can delete them. They were just old liquidity pools. Okay, I think I have everything for now. My general stance about what we can potentially do today is still slightly bearish. All right, 3 a.m. started just now, so we'll watch and interpret this now. All right, quite nice slide right away at the open here. So I'm watching this for value gap, this busy closely now, because if we could go below it, this could act as an inversion for value gap. On the upside though, we have this CB here, and this CB here. So I would love to watch and see how they present this themselves. But yeah, generally the idea is we had those equal highs, price poked 2 times shallowly, and then offered this measure of displacement lower. This seems to be quite bearish though. Alright, so nice little slide lower. It took relatively close into this busy. And now let's see how far it can retrace up into. Alright, so closing in the upper half of the first fair value up here. Warrants a possibility that we might seek the higher one. Alright, digging into this CB. And yeah, because this reaction was so energetic here, I want to see a little bit more price action. Yeah, all of this looks quite strong though. We'll see. This run on the buy side was very shallow, admittedly. It was a shallow run. This working from the weekly octon though. So yeah, if it's really bearish, I don't want to see any bodies in the upper half of this CB. So far, they are being kept in the lower half. But yeah, at the same time, we have now a potential inversion here with a busy. After strong reaction here, this is a sensitive point that could send us higher though. That's why I want to be careful about this. Yeah, so far it looks like it wants to go higher in my mind. All of this is quite bullish. So this could act as inversion for Varia, I feel like. And we already went into the upper half on a closing basis. So if we close above it, this should act as inversion and send it for a deeper run above the equal highs. What would that be? That would be like this level here, 29,715, let's say. All right, so there's somewhat of an idea. Let's see though. As we try to move outside of the CB, and generally, I would say the rule would be if we can trade outside of it, and obviously violate all of these discount arrays, then yeah, it's bearish, and it's no doubt about it. And that's what we are seeing, I guess. I guess that's what we are seeing. So I will use this as inversion, and I will seek the sell side liquidity, trusting that it did enough work and damage up there. Violated all of the discount arrays here with a large big down close candle. Now I would like to see this act as inversion for Vargap though. There's a CB it could touch into, but the idea would be to lose the ground below this Bessie ASAP. Slight little close below consecutive encroachment. I would like to lose a little bit of the ground here and inverse this BC, ideally. Yeah, I want to see some movement and not stalling for too long. All right, it's just meandering around, not moving too much. I mean, it's in realm of reasonable after a large drop. And we see a little bit of consolidation. I guess that's fair enough. But I would like to see it eventually start failing to reach higher and start to roll over lower. We left nice relatively cool lows in here. And now poking a little bit into the premium, which is admittedly reasonable, and I need to allow for that. As you can see, there is lots of premium arrays being stacked around here. first touch into those premium rays, and price close lower. That's a good sign initially, I would say. That's a really good sign that it should smash lower. There's really not much in here that should stop price. There are relatively lows with low resistance liquidity around signatures. I would like to see it really aggressively attack that, to be honest. But yeah, let's see. Let's watch price and see what it does and how it does. Yeah, that's what I like to see. Nice large down candle here. Let's see if we can stretch below this. I mean, that's a reasonable area for taking a partial, I suppose. So I will take one just for the good measure. Can I change this to 1 now? Perfect. So I will remove a little bit of the risk. I will move the stop loss not to break even yet, but above this CB. I mean at the CB high basically. And I'm still watching if we can get the ultimate sell side here. And that's what my interest is. Now we went below this. Should act as inversion for value gap. And we have a potential institutional or referential drill here. So this up into the consecutive encroachment. That's kind of like the line in the sand. Or this is kind of like the fair value gap. It could reach up into and should roll over. Technically. Yep. Overall, it looks quite nice and heavy. Right, I like how we are melting below this, and we couldn't even reach up into the sib here. That indicates further heaviness. I'm generally not a huge fan of this type of wicks in here, but let's see. Yeah, this type of wicks in here like to screw me around a little bit. Well, we traded up into this valley gap. And that's still an area where I would like to see it roll over. Nice little reaction off of that initially. I like that. I like that a lot. If you could see speed on the downside, that's literally ideal. Beautiful. So yeah, in my mind, it should quickly continue and attack the sell side liquidity and go likely below it though. I would like to get ahead. I mean, I would like to get away ahead of it if possible, and then watch. Hello, I'm good. Thanks for asking, though. Well, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this type of reactions here. Left triple radical lows, and we are deep, 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 deep into the range. Can it still deliver? Of course, but it brings a little bit uncertainty to the mix. Right now, I feel I can move my stop loss to break even actually, just because we were like 95% into my target. And yeah, I mean, if price retraces all the way up there, then it might see even deeper retracement at that point, right? And yeah, would have been lovely to get something off below this low. But yeah, it's mounting another run higher here. And yeah, let's see if this will be faded indeed. Yeah, that's a deep retracement here. That's not what I would like to see, right? Well, bright minds think the same, right? So I took the bias liquidity here, that's short term, and it would need to really reject that hard and never breach this lower half of the inversion, because we had like already like 1, 2, 3 PD raise. Yeah, this doesn't look well. It can definitely stop me out here. It can definitely do that, which is a little bit unfortunate. Having that much of a range on the table and not taking it. Is a little bit unfortunate. But yeah, it is part of this business. Sometimes that's going to be happening. I like this reaction though. That's promising. So we might see the last chance, I guess, out of this. And with that though, or if that's the case, I would love to take this range from high to low and project that below this sell side liquidity, roughly. And I would love to target the half of the standard deviation of this last rally up. But yeah, that would be like more like a more for the banter. If it turns around here, where in my mind it should, like that's the last reasonable line of defense, last reasonable retracement, and it should turn around here. If it does, then I like to target this level exactly. If it doesn't and stops me out, then it is what it is. this with this. SMT with ES is not on my radar at the moment. I don't mind. That's the account balance with the floating open profit, right? So the equity is this 49,453 even. Same account. Same account. No resets. Yeah, I mean, I guess the best solution to this type of things is just to have like a larger amount of contracts. Because yeah, if you have like few more, then it's actually so beneficial, so good to just take a partial. Just take something if it's moving in your favor and it's reaching some key levels on the downside, just take something. I was left with one only. So if I took, it would be done trade, which wouldn't be too bad after all. But yeah. How long has it been since the challenge started? That's a great question, actually. I will tell you. Uh, mm, 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 mm. The challenge started May 12th, 2026 at 9:50 a.m. session, New York time. So, yeah, in May 12th. Ever since then, one account was dealt with, passed the first stage, got into funded, and now dealing with the funded account, but also dealing with the drawdown and its recuperation. So yeah, I had a tough month, got into drawdown, and now I'm fighting with it currently. So yeah, slightly over 3 months. Something to that effect. And this is the stream number 99. Roughly, there is like on 1 hour per stream. So 90, roughly, obviously, might be slightly more, slightly less, probably slightly more, but roughly 99 hours were put into this endeavor. 99 hours spread across the 3 months. And here we are. Right, so generally I'm not a fan if price is so close to the target and just meanders around like this. I'm not a fan of that. But yeah, at the same time, those triple relative equal lows in here, they feel like such a bait, right? They feel like such a great bait. Right, so let's see. Now, as those equal lows should be targeted, I would like to see price aggressively move towards this level there. And yeah, I'll be trying to judge the speed on its way. All right, all right, all right, all right. We are trading into the suspension block in here. I would really like to see it keep the price heavy and send it below those relative equal lows. Hello, Mr. Dragon Emperor 2388. Pretty cool as name though. Mr. Dragon Emperor. All right, so we are roughly 1 minute and 15 seconds away from the 350 to 410 macro, and that's when I would expect this to really move, if at all, right? If it's gonna go, it should do it in that time window. If it's gonna stop me out, it should do it in that time window. And yeah, I will take it whatever it gives. This is a funnel account with Lucid, so technically it's a demo trading, but it's a funnel account. Yeah, this type of reaction is definitely not what I wanted to see. So yeah, it's a very likely stop out here at break even, which yeah, I will definitely take that. It's always better than a loss. Yeah, fun fact, it shoot up like this. Took out the buy side into the premium here. Last line of defense, by the way. So far, respecting the lower half like this, that's literally like the last line of defense. What is the silver bullet? I mean, in simple terms, that's just like a time-based trading model, which is linked strictly to the time. That means theoretically you can use whatever technical PD array you like, but if you do it within the time of 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. New York time for long open session, that's the long open session silver bullet. The original version was dealing with the fair value gaps and using the fair value gaps as the key PD array for the model, but in reality you can use whatever you like, but as long as it's within that time window, it would be classified as a silver bullet trade silver bullet type of model. And there are a couple of those windows, but yeah. So lovely rejection in here. As you can see, my stop loss was quite close, but in the right place. Apparently, at this point, it should never go back above that, if I'm correct on my assumptions. And it should really stay heavy until it clears the sell side and possibly reaches that standard deviation of this range in here. Yeah, I can also do the another leg because it provided second kind of like little opportunity to measure, and half of it is here, so probably like I will eyeball it right now, but probably like using half of those two, roughly like midpoint between those two 50% or deviations, and that would be like a sweet spot for a target. Yeah, that's roughly exactly I was pretty close. So that's kind of like a good measure for a target, I would say. That's obviously like a best case in this scenario. Best case scenarios, I mean, best case exits can be denied, but I suppose the damage was already done, and it didn't necessarily proved the idea completely wrong, which means that it should or could still deliver. Let's watch. Let's watch. Yeah, I still think those triple relatively lows are way too smooth. Way too smooth. And now we have like even this low that's relatively equal to those. It should be a nothing burger to send it down and clear that out. Good morning, Sonia. Hello. Nice to see you. That's a nice reaction. I like that. It should be heavy now. It should really pick up the speed and attack the sell side aggressively. What if price goes up? Then I'm wrong and I will get stopped out. There is no other way around it. But yeah, this should now slice through the sell side here. Let's see. Did it poke below those? It did on a very shallow basis, very shallow wick. I mean, I'm not content with this type of purge. I want to see bodies placed below it, like a large follow through that. I don't think this is like enough. All right. So we are kind of like hanging on the cliff right now, and we want to see the price just fall out of it and fall into the dip. Alrighty. So yeah, the thing is at this moment that I really want to see it just being super heavy. Like no deep retracement at all, just super heavy, seeking lower prices. Because that's what it was all preparing for. So yeah, that would be a lovely place for a partial. I have only one contract, so I mean I could close it here and it wouldn't be a mistake. But yeah, I'm also fishing for that run below the sell set here. We got a little bit of acceleration weak. Let's see if we can follow through that to the ideal or best case scenario that I try to project based on those two upswings, and this was my rough idea of that projection. So yeah, at this moment I can secure. Where is the stop loss here? I can secure the stop loss slightly lower, slightly above this fair value gap, and let's see if I can get fill on my limit. It was close though. It was close though. But yeah, I will need a second pass. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, no panic, no panic. If it goes and stops me out, that's fine. That's fine. I need to leave a little bit room for the price and for making some moves, right? If it yeah, if it goes and turns around and stops me out, that's really fine. I was just trying to finesse the ideal or best case exit. Got, I don't know, 2-3 handles away from it, and then price rejected that slightly, which is reasonable. Can we see another lower pass and a lower low? Yeah, I guess. And if that will be the case, then I will get filled, and that will be it. So yeah, no panic. Yeah, that's a nice large down candle. This can definitely get me out of this endeavor. There we go. Right, so I got my best case scenario, and that's always lovely to have. Not required though, but really lovely. And yeah, it's even stretching lower to the end hook. Beautiful, 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 beautiful price delivery this session. Really, a really crisp, nice little session here. Let me show you the account balance for today. And I was managed to pull out $161 out of today's session with using 2 micros on Nasdaq with very little to no drawdown. and the account balance is currently sitting at 49,570 even. And yeah, still fighting with the drawdown, still recouping that bad boy. And yeah, that's what it is. So nonetheless, thanks guys for watching. It was a pleasure as always. It was a pleasure. I wish you guys a beautiful reminder of the day, and see you next time with another silver bullet. Bye bye.